Okay, so I'm gonna try this again. I'm excited about this particular content because if you know me, you know I'm literally obsessed with peak performance. Peak performance is something that I believe is the one thing, one of the one things, there's a lot of one things, but I believe is one of the things to help us absolutely unlock crazy potential, right? I say this often, potential is not profitable. So what do you do to create and unlock those tapped potential places? So check this out. I have went through this week and I know it's Friday. So it's like, okay, it's Friday. What are we going to do this weekend? How can we steward the weekend well? Let me preface, there are two spectrums on two sides of the spectrum. There's spectrum on the left side, which is someone who decides, hey, I just want to do well at life. If you are spectrum on the right side, this is you. This is the person who doesn't want to just do well. They want to do amazing. They want to be immaculate. If that's you, I challenge you to listen to the next 5 minutes of this video because what I believe is going to be something that will help you not just for this weekend, but for the other and rest of the weekends of your life. Okay, so check this out. There's this concept as we're unpacking this concept of peak performance, right? The peak performance playbook, as we determine what are the things that we can do in our day-to-day lives, in our day-to-day routines to really help us unlock those spaces where we can be most potent in what we do, right? So I'm going to give you a secret that I found in my life that really helps me have those peak performance and tap into that unlocked potential. Check this out. Here it is. Let me give you the quote first that sets the stage for this. Write this down, save it, make it your screensaver, add it to your quote section in your notes, whatever it is this. It's that the rest, or should I say, the refreshing of your weekend determines the quality of your Monday. Let me say that again. The refreshing of your weekend determines the quality of your Monday. And this is extremely powerful when we talk about being able to tap into peak performance, immaculate levels, doing great work, doing amazing work, doing applaudable work. What that is being sure that we're balancing our levels. Some of us have had crazy weeks. It's Friday, so I mean, even just the idea of being in the house can put a toll, considering that we're in a pandemic right now. What we've got to make sure that we do for people who want to tap into these high levels of performance, whether it's on your job, in your family, wherever it is that you've got to make sure you account for how you feel internally so that you can perform externally, right? Let me say that again. You've got to account for how you feel internally so that you can perform at amazing levels externally. So here's the strategy, right? Check this out. I'm going to give you some context and takeaways. The strategy now is understanding point A. Here it is. Write this down. Point A is you've got to understand and figure out where are you internally. So what Friday afternoon and Friday evening can look like for you is doing an assessment. How do I feel? What's happening, what's off, am I low on my energy level as it relates to enjoyment, right? Maybe I haven't done anything enjoyable in a while, right? Am I low on my energy level as it relates to community, right? Is that level low? Am I low on how I feel physically? Maybe you didn't eat well this week, right? And you didn't eat well this week, so it's taking a toll on you at the end of the week, and you need to input some more greens in that schedule, or even put some more vitamin or supplements, right? That's how you actually feel energy level spiritually. Maybe you didn't do as much as you wanted to do spiritually this week and that level is depleted. So here's what has to happen. What has to happen, and here's what you can't do, right? You cannot go on autopilot this weekend. You cannot go on autopilot this weekend, because going on autopilot this weekend ignores the levels that you just accounted for, right? So what's the strategy in this? The strategy is, one, you do an assessment and document the assessment. The second thing is that you tend to, here's point B, you tend to exactly what it is that you need to in order to raise the levels of where you're depleted. Write that down. Number 3 is tending to the levels. Number 2 is tending to the levels. You have got to tend to this. And so often, and let me be honest. I'm telling myself, there's often weekends where I just like autopilot, right? Where I desire to autopilot, where I'm like, look, I'm just gonna rest, Netflix and chill it up, order some pizza, whatever. And that is a time for that. But when we're talking about peak performance, when we're talking about tapping in, you've got to make sure that you're tapping in. And the only way you tap in and you reach those heights is that you replenish what's low. So this weekend, I'm challenging you not to just do the same old autopilot weekend, not to just go with the flow, but it's that you schedule intentional time to replenish the low levels, to tend to the low levels, right? It's so important and really being able to execute at the level that you want to execute to be great, right? All right, here's point C. Here's the last point. The last point is that you've got to create a space where all of this specifically gets done. What does that mean? That means plan, right? So here's how this all comes together. Point A in step 1, here's the takeaway, is that you assess where you are. Here are the levels that are low. It's Friday afternoon. If I can just do a brief 10-minute assessment, here's what didn't go as well as I would like it to go. Here's how I feel physically, spiritually, emotionally, right? Community. Here's how I feel about these things. You do the assessment. Number 2 is you create a place to tend to them. You think and you brainstorm. Number 2, you think and you brainstorm. Just ideas. What exactly can I do if my community is low? Where is an opportunity for me to engage or have more fun, right? Number 3 is after you brainstorm the ideas, you plot them. What does plot them mean? Plot them means that you actually set time in the schedule to do them. Remember, we cannot go on autopilot. Autopilot is like, I'm just going to, I know I need community, but I'm just going to see how it falls this weekend. I'm just going to kind of let it play out this weekend. No, like, come on. That doesn't work that way. We can expect to get results if we're not plotting them or planning them. So number 3 is you actually plan to do them. I promise you, getting these steps, understanding and using your weekend wisely to refresh, to recharge, to rest, whatever that looks like, because rest isn't always sleep, but to rest creates a space where Monday you are so much more intentional. You're so much more ready to have peak performance. You're so much more set up to have an amazing Monday. So what you can't do is go on autopilot, right? But this is what you do to make sure that Monday is like you dominate it, you crush it. It's this right here. So this is your playbook. This is play number 3, right? Is making sure that you steward your weekend well. This is what peak performers do. And for those who may not have a 9 to 5 and you kind of flow, you can still take this content and integrate it in whatever your week structure looks like. It is set in intentional time to assess, tend, and plot, or in other words, plan, to brainstorm the ideas that you come up with to replenish yourself. All right, look, man, the weekend is where the champions are made, huh? I'm telling the weekend is where the champions are made. How you steward your weekend determines the quality of your work week, period. Monday is coming, and you got to answer to Monday. Monday is coming, and you're either going to be ready for it or not. Monday is coming, and it's like game day, right? You think about Monday, it's like, look, Monday is when I play my game. So if you're familiar with sports, peak performance is huge in sports. It's like, look, my day, competition, game 7, game 3, whatever it is, it's coming. And whatever that schedule looks like for you, maybe it's not Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you're off the other days, whatever it may be, you've got to make sure that you prepare and rest well. Rest well, right? Refresh well. These are the components of being able to perform well. Let me say that again. Rest well, refresh well, and as a result, you perform well, right? We need your gift and we need it potent. And the only way that you can do that is when you're refreshed. So I digress. I'm excited for you. Get into this. Take this weekend to do those 3 takeaways. If you want to know more about myself or more about what I'm doing with this peak performance playbook, feel free to reach out to me on IG at Instagram, at Tina Bonner Live, and of course on all social media platforms at Tina Bonner Live, and check out more about what I'm doing. But I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your performance. Lean in. And then, of course, as always, until we meet again, I love you. Share this with a friend if it was great for you. And listen, steward this weekend well, and I'll see you on Monday.